Acura has just unveiled a limited production TLX Type S PMC in addition to the ones they unveiled a couple of years ago. So what's different with this in addition to the price? Well, you do get a brand new color, and that is matte gray called Gotham Gray. And the premium for this specific color is $6,000 over the normal, if you want to call it that, Type S PMC. And I don't think that's worth it, because you would think you maybe would get a completely digital gauge cluster or something like that, but no, you're not getting that. Or maybe you get a touchscreen infotainment screen. You don't get that either for $10,000 more than the normal Type S with this Gotham Gray. So we're gonna have a look at this, what you actually get for this price, and also I want to show you the comparison between the production Type S and the Type S concept unveiled, I think it was in 2020 or 2019. That when I first saw that, I had really high hopes for the TLX Type S production version. But they did make a really good transition from the concept to the production, but something was just lost. This is one of these cars that, you can't really put a finger on what it is that happened between concept to production, because they look almost identical, but something is lost there. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about by comparing the two. So here we have the Acura is creating 50 hand-assembled TLX Type S PMC editions in Gotham Gray matte paint. Will enter production next month at the company's PMC or Performance Manufacturing Center in Ohio and arrive at selected dealers this spring, priced at $65,000. And I'm gonna let you know what I would do with that $65,000. I would not spend it on this car. I would spend it on a very similar car that I think is definitely worth $65,000. So some of the changes in the exterior, for example, the design elements, you have black paint for the door handles. For example, you have NSX inspired Y-shaped 20-inch lightweight wheels, gloss carbon fiber deck lip spoiler, carbon fiber rear diffuser, lower side sill garnish, and black chrome quad exhausts. And one thing that's differentiating this Gotham Gray TLX is that you don't have the roof being black, because that's what they have in the other PMC Type S's, but not in this specific gray color that we have here. And you also get carbon fiber interior trim panels, illuminated side sills, and premium floor mats. Premium floor mats at that, with Type S badges. Maybe that's worth the extra $6,000 over the regular PMC edition. You also get a plaque, so I think you're paying a lot for this being a limited edition. You have this plaque, you can brag to your friends, it's 1 out of 50, and that might also add to this $6,000 premium over the PMC regular ones. Underneath, though, is the exact same car. You still have the same turbocharged 3-liter V6 engine with 355 horsepower, an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the all-wheel drive system. So for me, for $65,000, this does not feel like it's worth it. However, you never know with these limited edition cars. If you might hold on to this for I don't know how long, and it might actually increase in value just because they say that it's 1 out of 50 officially from Acura. So maybe for collectors or something like that want to have a special Acura sedan in their garage, maybe this could be a car that actually holds its value, but I doubt it will, because there's nothing special about the powertrain, and it doesn't even come in a manual transmission. So let's jump into Photoshop here. I want to show you this comparison that I was talking about between the concept and the production version. So have a look at this. And you can clearly see that this is almost the identical car. It's almost the same exact styling in the production from the concept. Of course, you have the production being the left side, and then you have the beautiful concept on the right. And I think something is just lost in this translation here. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it's probably best seen or noticeable in a side view, but have a look at the front end. The transition from the concept here looks really good in the production version. All the features are pretty much here. We have the same treatment of the front end with this line, very aggressive line, and then the headlights going in here with the typical Acura shape of the daytime running lights. We have that here as well, but it doesn't feel, I don't know, if it doesn't feel as dynamic as the concept, even though even this piece down here in the side, the intake, feels like it's almost copied from the concept. You can just tell that there is something special about the proportions of the concept that didn't make it into the production version. And I think the front end is the view that you can see this, that you barely notice this, but it gets more noticeable when you look at the rear. I think this is actually wider, and I think it has more of a curvature. If you look at it from a more of a three-quarter side view here, you can clearly see that this is more curved in the rear, and it became a little bit more flat when you look at the production version over here, even though, same thing as we have in the front end, all the graphic features and all the styling pieces, for example, this detail here is still intact in the production, even though in the concept it goes down a little further, down something like this. We have 4 bazooka tailpipes in both the concept and the production, as you can see, but the taillights look so much better in the concept, in my opinion, and I don't feel like these taillights are, you know, too conceptualized that they wouldn't be able to make this into production. These taillights over here, I feel like these could have been from a 2010 car or something like that. There's nothing special about these, and these LEDs they just don't feel premium enough, specifically not if you're paying $65,000 for the PMC in Gotham Gray like we have here. This is the actual car that we're talking about. So now let's have a look at the side view, and here you can more clearly see, hopefully, what it is I'm talking about. The concept has very sleek, athletic proportions to it, and the lines, specifically in the greenhouse, going back and creating this ducktail here that is clearly gone in the production version. It doesn't have the same flow or the same sleekness as the concept, specifically in a side view. It's still a pretty decent looking design, the Acura Type TLX Type S, but it's not, again, it's not something that I'm interested in buying, specifically not, you know, pay $7,000 extra for just a gray color. It just feels ridiculous to me. But if it came out looking like this, like the concept with these sleek proportions, and lower the roofline a little bit like we have here, this looks fantastic, and this feels like the concept would feel like it could potentially be worth $65,000, but not in the shape and form that it came out in the production version. So if I had this $65,000, I would save, I don't know, 8-10 grand. And the car that I would get instead of this 1 out of 50, I don't really care that it's a limited edition. It's still just an Acura sedan. They say it's hand built, but I don't get the point of hand building an Acura sedan. Yes, if you're building a one-off Lamborghini, I want that to be hand built. But at 2023 Acura sedan, I don't really care, or maybe I don't think I even want that to be hand built, because of how good manufacturers are in putting together cars these days. But the car that I would buy instead of this is the Cadillac CT4 Blackwing with a manual transmission. You get a lot more power, you get a lot better styling, in my opinion. Still, this is not a bad looking car, but the Cadillac CT4 and the CT5, specifically in the Blackwing trim, looks fantastic. And last but not least, you get it in a manual transmission. And I think it's so cool that Cadillac is still building cars today with big power and rear-wheel drive and a manual transmission, specifically in sedans. These are cars that are the last of its breed. I don't think they're gonna do that again. Hopefully, I hope they will come back to that eventually, but not in the near future. I think that car, the CT4 Blackwing and the CT5 Blackwing, specifically in a manual transmission, to me, I feel like they would hold their value better than just a plaque with 150 on a pretty much normal Acura TLX Type S, because we have a specific powertrain in the Cadillac's manual transmission, which I think is going to raise, maybe even raise the prices if you keep them in a very good shape. So that's the car I would buy instead of this Acura TLX Type S PMC Gotham Gray. Let me know which one you would buy. Would you buy this for $65,000? Or would you maybe save a little bit of money and get the Cadillac CT4 Blackwing? Let me know in the comments below.